Welcome, class, to a workshop on Coach Joe rules. In this lesson, we will review Coach Joe rule number 29, which states, avoid marking unit tests with an ignore attribute. It is common to see a suite of tests that prove functionality of the application works. As part of the deployment process, all the tests must pass. The result is a test report that shows the number of failing, passing, and skipped tests. Skipped or ignored tests are written tests that may or may not pass, but are ignored when all the tests are executed. These tests will not stop the deployment process assuming all other tests pass. Each testing framework has a way of ignoring tests. Here are a few common examples. If a test is commented out, it will not appear in the testing report as a skipped test. It is preferred to ignore a test over commenting out a test. You should avoid having tests that are ignored in the codebase. Typically, unit tests that are ignored provide no benefit. They are considered dead code and should either be fixed or deleted. During the course of your current story project, code and tests could be added, changed, or removed. One of the goals is to make sure all the tests pass. Since this rule deals with ignoring unit tests, let's focus on these. There are times when a unit test or suite of tests can be ignored. Here are some common reasons. Sometimes a code change will break a unit test. If it is still valid, make the appropriate correction. Sometimes the test is no longer necessary. It could be initially ignored and later deleted during the code review. Other times a new unit test is created that doesn't pan out. Again, the test could be initially ignored. Upon code completion, delete the test if not needed. And in rare situations, there might be a slow-running test. Tests are meant to be fast. When a test takes too much time to complete, it slows down development. These types of tests could be temporarily ignored. This allows developers to complete their work and quickly run other tests. Remove the ignore attribute when completed. Remember, the goal is to avoid checking in ignored tests. There might be situations where the ignored test must be checked in. Here are some common reasons. There is a test that is initially passing. After a code change, the test now fails. This solution is needed right away, and the risk is low if the test is ignored. A decision can be made to check in and deploy the code with the ignored test. A to-do comment can be made with the intention of fixing the test later. In rare situations, a test could be used to initiate a manual process, not an actual test with an assert. Maybe an integration process needs to be inspected, or it's a way to step into the code to verify the logic. In any event, the test was meant to be run manually for debugging purposes, not for deployment. This kind of test can be ignored and checked into the codebase. I challenge you to avoid checking in tests with an ignore attribute. Leave a comment down below with reasons your team checks in ignored tests. Look for other helpful Coach Joe videos. Remember, future senior developers, make it work, prove it works, then make it better. Ready? Break!